Namaste, welcome to Sthitaprajna channel. I hope you are enjoying those installation videos so far. In this video, we are going to have, not have, but we are going to install more tools. You might be wondering, why do I have to install all this just to learn Spark? Well, you don't. You don't have to learn all this, but when you go and join a company to work as a Spark developer, it's not just going to be Spark. You are going to have other tools along with Spark you would have to work on. So my goal is to teach you as many tools as you can along with Spark, so that when you actually go to work, you don't feel overwhelmed. And even if you are trying to get a job, you can use this experience and maybe clear the interview. That's my goal. That's why. And by the way, if you are learning for the first time, you don't have to install all this. I would ask you to jump to the next section. And based on the examples I show you, if it requires connecting to MySQL, then you can come to these installation videos and set up MySQL. Got it? And if you are not interested, let's say in Yarn or Hadoop or Hive, you don't have to install it. If you want to just sit there and watch, that's fine as well. But since all of our videos are going to be hands-on, I want you guys to have all this set up, so that when we go into the later videos where we actually do hands-on exercises, I want you to do it instead of just watching it. I prefer you doing it instead of you watching me do it. There is a big difference. That's why I'm showing you all this. But you don't have to set them up right now. You can go watch the next section if it is already there, uploaded onto YouTube. And then based on the exercises, you can come and install it. It's up to you. But I prefer you to install all of them and practice all of them. That being said, in this video, we are going to install a couple of more tools. One of them is R. If you are wondering, why do I need R? Well, most of the data scientists, they use R language, but put that aside. In the first chapter, I don't remember the video exact episode name, but we have learned different programming languages you can code Spark in, and one of them is R. And I said, I said I am going to make you guys learn all the programming languages that you can code Spark in, so that when you apply for a job, you don't get limited to only the languages that you know. And I said I will prove by the end of this masterclass that most of these programming languages you code in Spark are almost same. So that's my goal. That's why we are going to set up R. We already set up Spark, and I think we even ran Scala, but I don't think we set up Scala IDEs or etc. We just set up something related to Scala using the Spark shell, if I'm not wrong. And we have set up Eclipse IDE and ran a Java Spark Java application as well. So we are left with R and maybe Scala. So in this video, we are going to set up R, Scala with SBT, and Mesos. Remember that Mesos is one of the resource manager you can use for Spark. So that's why we are setting up Mesos. And then last but not least, HBase, which is a NoSQL database. So we are going to set up these four on Ubuntu first. So let's go ahead and look into them. So here we are. Let's open our terminal. There are two ways how you can install R. Okay, one is using a CRAN repo, which is recommended to get the newest R. But since we don't want newest R, it's fine, whatever is left. I'm going to use Ubuntu's repo instead. So before using that repo, what will you do? Sudo apt update. Okay, once you do that, we are going to run sudo apt install rbase R base dev. So what is it saying? Oh, sorry, instead of sudo, I typed something else. Right. Once you installed R, the next thing is to integrate it with Spark. Correct? How are you going to do that? Well, before doing that, let's make sure we have Spark installed and Spark Home setup. How do you do that? Echo $Spark Home, that will give you that you have the environment variable set for Spark Home. If you followed my tutorial to install Spark on Ubuntu, remember we have put the Spark Home in a function called Spark Notebook. So I am assuming you might have already run it. If not, if your this is empty, the reason might be because you might have not run the Spark Notebook function. So you need to run that. Okay. Click enter. And in this session, you will have the Spark Home imported. Make sure this is showing up. Now, how will you invoke the R shell? It's very simple. All you need to do is type capital R, not small r, type capital R. This will invoke R shell. Now let's load our Spark R into it, and Spark R is basically in our Spark directory. Do you remember? So if I enter this and R, sorry, not SL. Is it small R? Let's see. Okay, is this even our Spark? No, it is not. Something is not right. Oh, sorry. In this session, we haven't, I don't know why I'm doing it that here. So this is the thing, right? I didn't run my Spark notebook. That's why my Spark home is not set in here. But this is going to trigger a Jupyter notebook, which I don't want. So let's control D or control C. Now if I run the same thing again, it will show. Now if I do this one, it should show me a lib. So R is there, lib is there. Whatever is in the lib, we are trying to load it into our R. So let's go to our R shell and copy paste this command in the R shell, which will load Spark R. And then once you have Spark loaded into your R, what do we do? As our first step, we create our initialize Spark session and we use this command to do that. Okay, once it runs, it's done. Now you can write your R Spark code here. Got it? And the simplest way to create a data frame is to convert a local R data frame into our Spark data frame. Specifically, we can use something called as.dataframe, or you can also use create data frame, and you can pass in the local R data frame to create a Spark data frame. So let's look at an example. We have a data set, inbuilt data set into R, something called faithful. So we are going to use that data set to create our Spark data frame. And if you remember, the data frame actually came from R itself. Okay. So do that data frame as data frame. It's like you are creating this particular data set or converting it into faithful. So faithful is the data set. And what we did here is converted faithful data frame, R data frame into Spark data frame. So let's look at what is in this data frame, right? Head means it will give you the top end records. So we are just saying, give me whatever is in there. And Spark triggered behind the scenes and it gave us some top rows from that particular data frame. So that's it. I don't want to show you more because I only showed you to show you or prove you that our Spark integration with R succeeded successfully. We integrated Spark into R. That's about it. It's simple. It's no nonsense installation. So we successfully set it up. And more examples will follow in later chapters and videos. Don't worry, we will have plenty of them. And when you look at our code, you will be like, wow, this looks almost similar to our Python or Scala code. Yep, trust me, you will do that. You will say that. Okay, so since we installed R, let's go on to our next item, which is Scala. And the recommended way to install Scala on Ubuntu is using something called Corsair. All you have to do is run this particular command, which will download and install Corsair as well as Scala and etc. Okay, so here let's write yes because it's not there. So I ran this previously. For that reason, it is saying that they are already installed. Let's see if it figures out. It's still not figuring out Scala. My assumption is maybe this is not in the path yet. So let's go ahead and print path. And I can see bin, sbin, Cassandra, but this is not added. Even though I told it to add to the path, clearly, as you can see, it's not added. So what we can do is we can add that to our paths so that that will solve our problem. And how do we do that? We can do our, let's test it. Let's paste this one and see if it is actually, yeah, we already have everything installed in this. It's just it is not in the path. So when I type Scala, it is not figuring it out. If I use the full path, then it will, but that's not what something that I want to do. So let's go ahead and add this to the bash rc. So let's go to our favorite file, home.bash rc, and let's add it here. Save it. And once you add it, you know the drill. We need to source it. Now, if you type Scala version, it should figure it out and should print us. Scala version is 3.7. I don't think our Spark is with this version. I think our Spark is with 2.1. So that might cause some issues, I am assuming. And okay, SBT, what is happening? No worries. This just means that SBT is expecting us a build.sbt file in the current directory. We are not executing this in the Scala project. That's why it is doing that. So what we can do is, I guess we can run this particular command to see the version. And as you can see, that shows us the version. So let's create a sample Spark project, shall we? So that we can prove that whatever we have set up is working fine. And I'm highly doubt it will work because my Scala version is different than Spark. But if it works, then we are good. Um, not sure. So let's create a build.sbt file. You can do it from here or you can create a file here. So let me go to Spark Scala example. Let's touch a file. Touch just creates an empty file. Open it with text editor and copy paste this code. Okay, this is the name of the application version, and we are saying 2.12.18 because that is the Spark build. Uh, but not sure, not really sure about. We'll see. I don't know if it will work if I have a different version than Spark or not. So let's go ahead and create a project folder. And before doing that, let me actually cd Scala. Sorry, Spark Scala. Why is it not? Oh, I'm already in here. Never mind. Okay. let me run, type it again. So inside the examples, you will have source, main, and Scala. That's how it is supposed to be. Okay. And then let's add the simple word count Scala. You don't need to know what this code does. What I'm trying to do right now is just to trying to execute a Scala program using our installation and see if it is working or not. Oops. Did it get created here? It should be here in the main in Scala. Okay, let's edit this. And the code we are going to run write is this one. Okay. This looks something similar to Java. Remember that? So we are initializing our Spark session and we are remember these commands we executed a while ago. That's what we are doing. We are reading read me.md file and we are splitting words based on spaces and then we're grouping by them and then we're counting the words. That's all we are doing, and we are showing the 20 entries, etc. It's simple. Now let's go back, let's paste this, and we are telling it to package the code that we build here. Okay, it used it. No problem, then you can actually have a, but that version should match your Spark, which is what I used, and it is getting all the dependencies installed. And by the way, if you're wondering, is this the only way to do it? No, you can use IDEs like Eclipse and IntelliJ with Scala as well, which we are going to see. Oh no, I don't want to see errors. Unable to find encoder for type string. Okay, group key identity, not a problem. Let's do this. The mistake I have done is I shouldn't have used the identity. That's why it is doing that. So let's use our normal functions that we are familiar with. So instead of that, what am I doing? I'm telling it that you group by the words that you are getting from there, right? Group by each word, and then we are sorting by frequency and doing all that. So let's hope this works. Let's try to package this code. Now, okay, that worked. So once you build it, what will you have? You will have a jar. Where will you have it? You will have it in the target. So let's go here in the target, in the Scala version, whatever version, you will have a jar file. This is the jar file you are going to execute using our Spark submit command. So it's as simple as that. Spark submit. What is the class inside the code? It's word count. And where is the jar? Here. Enter. And Spark submit looks like it didn't work. That is not weird at all because I might have not loaded my Spark home. Not surprised. So let's run this. Maybe I should remove it from there because every time I try to do that, it's creating a problem. Okay, now I have this. So let's go ahead and run this one. It's still complaining it's not found. Why? Is it not in the bin? Let's see this. ls minus ltr spark home slash bin. You have Spark submit. Spark submit. Yeah, that's what I did. Why is it saying it's not found? Okay, that's weird. Hmm. Hive is there. Hive is there. Hadoop is there. Oh, funny. Spark is for some reason it's not in the path. Did I kill it before it even added it? Maybe. It's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the long path here. And what is it? Spark dash bin slash. Okay, now it will run. My Spark bin is missing in the path. That's what it happened. Okay. Connection refused. Connection refused to what? Okay. Since what is happening is, if you look at here, this is not set, so it is going for Hive, but my Hive is currently not running. That should not have happened, but since we have Hive setup, it is going there. So let me go and get my commands to run Hive wherever they are. If I have to run Hive, then I have to run a bunch of other stuff. So let's go do that. What is happening here? Okay, sorry. I ran the Windows command. Never mind. Yeah, let it run. Okay, it is running. This is just so you know HDFS, not Hive. And for Hive, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to run our metastore first. And where is the command for that? Here we go. Okay. If I run this here, you can see my metastore is running successfully. So let's go ahead and run Hive server 2. So now we have our Hive up and running, which you can see here and here. Let's go ahead and create that directory in HDFS. And how can you do that? HDFS DFS minus, if you do this, it will show all the directories that are there. We have a user, but in my code, I have used Sthitapragna and I have only folder with Hive. So let's create that folder. How will you create the Sthitapragna folder in here? Simple. mkdir minus p that. Enter. And don't put a slash at the end. Now we have done that, but we need the read me.file. I hope it's in this directory. No, it is not here. Um, I think we said it is here. Do we have a readme file here? No, we don't have here as well. So how come we are telling it to read? Do you remember in my code I told it to read the readme file? Since we are running it in from the Sthitapragna user, it is checking that file in the user. So let me go ahead and put a dummy file there. Only if I can find a file. I don't know why I opened this one. Let's see, go to downloads. Can't I find a dummy file? Okay, what about this? Let me copy this. Let me go to home, paste it. Okay, just rename this to readme.md. Oh, that's the file, right? Okay, it's capital, never mind. Okay, so it should be able to read that file. I mean, we need to copy that first. So how do you copy that to HDFS? It's very simple. You will say, put this file from my home directory into Sthitapragna. Okay, let it do its thing. Okay, let's verify that file exists. And as you can see, the file exists here, correct? Now let's go ahead and run our Spark submit. Here we go. Oh, not this one. Yep. Failed to load the class word count. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I am not in the Spark examples. Is what is it called? Spark Scala examples. Example, not examples. Because we said it's in the target and it is in this particular directory. If you run it somewhere else, it won't work. Let's hope it works this time. And it figure okay, it is running. Looks like it got the file, which is good. It's doing its thing. All right. So as you can see, it's showing some keys unreadable, I guess. Doesn't matter. Since it's a shell script, I guess it had some problem with counting whatever those characters are. Weird. I don't know. Um, but anyways, it ran successful and it gave us in only if I can get some dummy file. You know what? Spark Scala examples. Let's go there. Maybe it will have a file. Or even Spark will have README file in its folder, doesn't it? I don't know why I have to do all this. Yeah, it does have it. So let's copy this and let me delete this, paste this. So copy from local, and we are going to say that. Oh, it will fail or it won't copy because that file is in here. Okay. Now let me cd to Spark Scala and let me try to list it from here. I hope it is this file and let's run this command again. And by the way, okay, now this looks nice, right? That has these files and that's what it is showing us. So it ran successfully this particular file and it gave us the result. Got it? I mean, we have done a couple of stuff, all that, but this is what did we do? We built this Scala code using SBT and then we ran that particular file using Spark Submit. That is how, Scala programs run in production. But while you are developing, most likely you will use Spark Shell, right? Okay. I know why that is happening. It's not in my home. That's why. So when you are developing, most likely you will use Spark Shell. So in Spark Shell, by default, it initializes the Spark session, so you don't have to write the Spark session code. You got it. Now the word count that you just did, right? You can do it from here as well. So you can go ahead and I can get this one. So now instead of reading from my Hive, I can read this from my home directory, which is in the Sthapragna. Maybe it okay. So you have data. And let's see data dot show. I'm going to say 5. Okay, it is showing me whatever content is in my readme file. That's my home directory. So that's why even without the path, it read from there. Now we have, if I want to run the same query, you can do it. No, nothing is going to stop you from by doing that. Okay, so this one looks like these got executed Weirdly, yeah, that's why it didn't do the uh, that at all. Okay, you know what? Let me copy this and create it as a single file, and I'll be back. Okay, so let's run this. Now let me go and run this. Now you can see it. The previously what happened was this got executed one line at a time and it got messed up. So I you can put a slash at the end if you want to have the command in the next line, but you got it. So whatever code we executed from the by building the jar and then executing it, we executed in the shell, but in production you don't use the shell to do it. In development you use the shell. Got it? So this result and the other result should have matched because it's the same Scala that is doing it. Anyways, I just wanted to show you the Scala that we installed and set up the SPD and Scala working fine, which is working fine as you have seen. We built a jar and we executed the jar using Spark Submit and it worked perfectly. So far we have installed two tools, R and Scala, but the next one is an IDE, which is very famous. I've been using this company's IDEs since last 10 years. For Java, I was using this for Intellij. If you heard, JetBrains is a company and Intellij is their Java IDE. And for SQL, I used at my company DataGrip. It's called DataGrip, again, JetBrains. And for Python, they have PyCharm, which is also by JetBrains. So these three tools, they are awesome. And I use all of them, JetBrains. So in this setup, we are going to install Intellij. Okay, so let's go here. Intellij is IDE again for Java and Scala. So as you can see, immediately it popped up. So let's install that. And once we install that, we are going to integrate this with our Scala. So we are going to integrate Scala with Intellij. Okay. So we have that installed. Let's open it. And this is an awesome IDE, by the way. Okay. And let's see. Let's click on confirm, continue, close this. Plugins, you can install plugins from here, and the plugin we are looking for mainly is Scala, and you can install it right from here. Install it. Okay, let it install. Let's go ahead, click new project, and you can see IntelliJ build system, Maven build system, and then you get to select the SDK for it. Right? That's for Java. You can do the same thing for Scala, and we already set up SBT, right? You can select SBT right from here. Since we are doing it for Scala, so select that, click create. Okay. Now, oops, you see this source? It's loading main Scala. There is nothing under here, but you see the build.spt file. It already has that build.spt file. It created it in the target. Is it under target? No. The build.spt file is in the main directory. Anyways, so what we are going to do is let me copy the no, I don't know why I opened this one. Home, Spark Scala examples, and this was my build dot, right? And I said I need Spark SQL, Spark Core, and with that Scala version. Why that Scala version? Because of my Spark dependency. Okay. Control S. That's my build file, and it's under the untitled and build. Here we go. Then the next thing is, remember our code which was here, word count.scala. Let's copy it actually. Maybe I can copy it and paste it here. Yep, same name. Go ahead and put it. So here you go. We have the code, right? We have the import. Everything should look fine. It's trying to compile behind the scenes, and it already failed because it couldn't figure it out where this Apache and etc. is coming from. Right? Okay, so since we changed the SPT file, let's click on this one, Control Shift to O. So it should go ahead and try to pull in all the jars that we need for running the Spark, right? And we have mentioned it. We need the Spark, special Spark SQL. These two are everything related to that. Okay, so it has done that. If you go here, you should be able to see at least most of the jars. Now let's go to our code. Now it doesn't throw that error red mark because it downloaded those jars into here. So let's refresh, clear this. And I don't know if it takes the home directory as the my Sthita Pragna. Let's run it. And now it is compiling this particular code into jar behind the scenes. Previously we did that using the SBT build, but this automatically compiles it into a jar and executes it using a Spark submit for us behind the scenes. It failed. I am assuming it failed because the compiled word count class, it cannot find the Spark session. That's what this is saying. That means we ran our app with just the class files on the class path, but not the Spark libraries. Spark isn't like a normal Scala app. We need to run it via Spark submit, so the Spark jars are pulled in, right? So, but I don't want to run it from Spark submit. Instead, I want to run it from the Intellij. All right, finally I have made it to work. But what did I do? Nothing much. What it needs is, when we ran the last time, it failed with the Java, right? It was not giving us the Spark jars inside the Java command, which you will see somewhere here. It runs from the Java. Usually the recommended way is to use the Spark submit, but from here you cannot run that, correct? So instead you are using Java. So when you use Java, this needs along with Scala classes, it needs Spark classes as well, which it was not able to find. So what I did was, I went into the edit configuration, and if you click on modify options, select add VM options, then you will have this box. In this box, we are going to add our jars, Hadoop jars right here. And once we added it, it ignored the Spark classes. So we need to add Spark classes as well. So we added both. Then it failed again because of some Java 17 version having issues with this. So I added that one as well. So once you add this entire thing here, of course, I'm going to provide this in our setup document, so don't worry about it. Once I added all that, all I have to do is run it. And by the way, make sure this file, since we are running it in this project, it expects the file to be in this projects here. So I copied that under untitled, and this untitled is in my home ID projects and here, so I copied it there. Or you can point to the home Sthita Pragna and etc. It will work. And once I ran it, bingo, it ran successful and it showed us the same result as before. That's it. That's about it. Once you integrate this once, that's about it. You can write any Scala program from here and you can run it successfully going forward. Got it? So this showed you how to set up IntelliJ and then integrate that with our Scala that we have installed in the previous setup. And the final one that we are going to see as part of this video, at least, I mean, this is all happening in Ubuntu. We will repeat the same things in Windows in a minute. But the next thing that we are going to do is Zeppelin. You might be thinking, what on earth is Zeppelin? Well, you already know the Jupyter notebook, right? Similar to that, Zeppelin. Zeppelin is Apache. Again, it's an open source notebook software, web-based notebook for interactive data analytics. So we are going to install it locally. How are we going to do that? Well, we are going to clone the Zeppelin repo and we will build it. That's how we are going to do it. Let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Let's go here. Let's hit CD and we are going to use git clone, but give me a minute. Let me go to the Zeppelin website here directly. Let's see what are the steps. Zeppelin Apache. Maybe the spelling is wrong, but here we go. Download, and as you can see, it has a tar file as well. It also has a Docker image as well. You can set up Docker. Remember, on Windows we have set up Jupyter using Docker. Similarly, I guess we can just set up this one using Zeppelin on Windows, but let's try to see without Docker, can we set up Zeppelin on Ubuntu? Okay. Requirements Java, we already have it. Not at all a problem. And once you download it, all we need to do is this. That's it. Okay. So download the binary file. Where is it? Let's go here. With all interpreters, Spark interpreter and interpreter net install scripts. Okay, let's download the big one. Let's copy this URL for our guide. Click on it. Okay, most of the times when you click twice, it does it. Okay, so let it download. If you want to install all interpreters, I guess we can do that. Not at all a problem. So let's do, is it downloaded? Yeah, it is downloaded. So let's go there. Downloads, Zeppelin. It's extracting, as you can see here. It's a big file. 700 MB is a big file. But we downloaded for all the interpreters. Maybe that's why. Okay, we have this. So let's go, and what is it saying? All interpreters if you want to install. Okay, let's go and do that. CD Zeppelin. Okay, let's move Zeppelin. Okay, it's in the downloads. To Zeppelin. So it's in the home directory now. CD Zeppelin. And what is the command? Already exists. Oh, interesting. So it's installing only Zeppelin. Looks like we already have all this. So yeah, good for us. Oh, we even have HBase directory. Nice. Install that is done. Restart Zeppelin. Create interpreter setting. Directory already exists. So skipped it. Okay. So Zeppelin is done. That's it. Okay. Good for us. What is next? We are going to start it. Because Zeppelin started it, and what is the web browser? They said URL. They said it will be available on here. You see, this is kind of similar to Jupyter. I think Jupyter is built on top of this. I don't know. I'm just making it, so don't take my word for it. Where is Zeppelin? Zeppelin and conf, and you see this one. Control V. Oh, not the command one, that is for Windows. This one. Let's rename it. Rename. Let's edit it. Okay, environment.sh. Are we going to do anything? Yes, of course. And what are we going to do? We are going to search for Spark Home somewhere. Here you see. Here we go. So we are going to set that one. Copy this and click there, which is equal to /home/Sita Pragna / what was it? Yeah, I want to copy this one. That is my Spark Home. We added it successfully. And let's go back, and then you have this one as well. I mean, we are not going to edit in here anything at all much, but let's do that for now. And let's go back. We already have it, but let's stop it and restart it. I think it is complaining about our file, whatever we did here. Okay, I think that should be fine. We didn't add this in our source bash.rc, so we have to be in Zeppelin to execute this, but we can put Zeppelin in our directory as well, the bash rc file as well. Okay, that's not what I want. Yeah, where is this one? That's not what I want to open. Okay, I'm here. All right. It's now let's click on notebook, create new note. You can name anything you want. First note. And what is that interpreter? Spark. You can have any of this interpreter and run that particular code, but we are selecting Spark as the interpreter. Create it. And what are we going to do? You can again in Spark you can run it with any language you want. Since I already have this, okay, let me go here and let me run this. But again, here we are saying spark.read, but and let's run this. Let's see what happens. Click on this one. Nothing much. Oh, it's still running, never mind. As you can see that with the blue. 0%. Okay, it's done. That show, it doesn't matter. So here I didn't create any Spark session or anything like that. The reason being, it automatically does that for us. Okay, so as you can see, it ran this particular, it loaded away everything that is in here into this variable, and it showed, I created a data frame and it showed 50. So as you can see, that's about it. There is nothing much, and you can run anything you want from Zeppelin here. You can even create a Python notebook and write Python programs, just like Jupyter. But Jupyter, it needed some integration for Spark, but Zeppelin doesn't need that much because of it is Apache. So technically other Apaches are integrated in. All right. So now we are done with the Ubuntu side of setting up R, Scala with SBT, Intellij with Scala, and then Zeppelin with Spark. Next, we are going to do the similar things in Windows. Installing R should be easy here. Download R Studio. Okay, so let's go here. I don't want that. Download for Windows. Download and install R. Okay, first one is install R. Okay, so let's download this. So it's going to use CRAN. Okay, that's fine. Download R for Windows. Here we go. So let's go here. Let's run the R first. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I think it is done. And then the next thing is R Studio. Okay. Once this is done, remember, after we set up R on Ubuntu, what did we do? We loaded Spark R, which is present in Spark installation directory. Similarly, we are going to do the same here. I wish I remember where Spark was for us. Let me see. I think it was in our C users, Sthitapragna, and then I guess Spark something. Yeah, Spark 356. So let's finish this and let me go ahead and run R Studio. I clicked on R Studio. Okay, here we are. Okay, you have this, right? So this is similar to whatever we did in Ubuntu. So once you have this, all you have to do is, if I remember the command correctly from Ubuntu that we executed, I think this should work, if I'm not wrong. Spark or lib.location, it's doing Spark home or lib. I think we have our Spark home already set up. Let me try to figure that out. Echo Spark home. Okay, it is set up, so this should figure it out. Okay, I think it did it. Once we did it, what did we do? We started the Spark session. It's the same command that we are going to use. Even here, there is no difference between the commands between your Linux and Windows for R. So launching Java with Spark submit command. That is good. So it executed and it created our Spark session. Awesome. And once that is done, what are we going to do next? Remember our example that we did. So we used a data set that is available within R, which was the faithful data frame, and we converted that into a Spark data frame by using this particular command. Okay, and then we just displayed the head in the sense like top n rows, just to see whether we created our data frame properly or not. And here you go, that's it. It's very simple, isn't it? And here we have our studio, which is exactly doing the same thing as whatever we had in the Ubuntu. And here you can see the data frames that are loaded, the data that is loaded into this environment. It's showing nicely. We will explore more about this when we actually do examples, but this is all there is. What did we do? We installed R Studio, then we loaded Spark R into the R, and then we created a Spark session. Then we converted a R data frame into Spark data frame, and then we displayed the data. That's about it. Okay, that's that. The next thing we are going to do is download Scala and set up Scala. Right? That's what we did. Scala. So let's set up Scala with SBT. All right, let's close this. We don't need this anymore. We can save for future purposes. Okay, so let's go to this link. All right, what is this? Scala 2.13? But if I remember correctly, our Spark was using what? 2.12, right? So let's go ahead and pick that version. If it is available here, it's not. So let's go. If it is not available here, Scala 2.12 Windows. Okay, let's go here. 2.12, that's perfect. And again, remember when we are setting up in Linux, Corsair is the one that is used to set it up. That was in Ubuntu though. So for Windows, download, need help. Okay. Download and use Kali. Is this the one for Windows or is there something here? Okay, here we go. Windows MSI installer, or you already have it. Let's go with this one. Download. And let me copy this link and paste it in our setup guide. And by the way, you need to have Java, just so you know, installed. So we already have Java. You can check it whether you have Java or not by running here. We had 1.8. I hope 2.12 works with it. I'm sure of it. That's it. Finish. Now we need SBT, right? Okay, we have SBT download here. So let's go there. And Windows. And we have an MSI. Let's copy the link for our documentation purposes. So let's click on that. Download. Click on it. More info, run anyways. Okay, we already have it. So what should I have done is run SBT version. Neither build nor project. Okay, so for this we needed we had to do that in a build. So this we already have it, so I don't have to install it. I guess we installed SBT for some reason. But anyways, if you want to do that, you can execute it and install it. I have provided the link in there anyways. So in the Sthitaprajna, what I'm going to do is I will make a directory. I will say hello Scala, or we can repeat the same word count that we did, but that's fine. Okay, once we go into this, we can create a program. Let's repeat the same program if I have access to it. I don't have it. So I should have put this in. You know what? Let me do it. Somewhere I should have it. The same Spark code. I'm looking for the code, word count code we executed in Ubuntu when we set up Scala. So let's do that one more time. Just give me a minute. All right, here we go. Even though I called that, let me create another one. mkdir, we are going to call this word count. Okay. And remember, how did we do this? No, actually, we created a directory called Spark Scala examples. Correct? Let's go there. And inside this, we created src. And inside this, we created main. And inside this, we created Scala. And here we have created our file. So let's go there. Main Scala. So here I created a file, and this file we will call it word count.scala, and it's a text document looks like. So let's go ahead and change that. Okay, so let me open with. I already have Intellij. As I said, I use this at my work as well as for my personal work. We will come to that later on, but I was looking for visual code. Don't I have visual code here? Oh, I don't have it. Okay, that's fine. I will just edit this with Notepad++. And the code that we used previously was, if I can find it, let me go find it. Here we go. So this is the code that we used. We are importing Spark session and all the functions, and this looks similar to whatever we did for PySpark. So we are creating a Spark session by giving it a name, and it's going to be local. We don't have any other resource managers. And then we are reading a text file readme.md. We need to place this in the home directory of this particular users, or we can just give a path and tell it where it is. Let's see where it is trying to access later on. And then what are we doing? We are splitting the data by spaces or white spaces so that you can get each word, and we are removing any empty strings. And then we are grouping by based on the words, and then we are counting. If you have to write SQL for this, other than the splitting wise, you will do a group by, right? Count star group by, and then we are displaying top 20 from it. That's it. Now, but is this it? No. First thing is, you need, when you have Scala, you need to have something called build.sbt file. So you have to put that in your main directory, your project, you can consider it as. So mine for Scala is this one. So I am going to create a file called build.spd. In here, this build.spd is going to have all the dependencies. I'm going to say use Scala version, and then the dependencies for this are Spark Core and Spark SQL, and this is going to be 6 and 6. So what it will do is, when you build it, it is going to pull all the libraries or jars from these two dependencies into our project, and then it uses them to execute our world.count. But how are you going to do that? Well, you are going to package And by the way, remember you need to execute this command, the package command, in the project directory because the build is here, right? So it looks for a build file. So you will execute package. So it's going to look for the build, and then it's like, oh, okay, it told me to use the Scala version. I will use that, and then get all the jars for these dependencies. That's what it tries to do. As you can see, it is trying to fetch all the dependencies, all the jars, as you can see, right? And then it creates a jar file out of our word count.scala code. Once you have the jar, all you need to do is execute it. And you can execute it using Spark submit because it is a Spark job. Okay, let's do its own thing. Okay, done. Success. So if I list here or dir here, you should see all this directory target. So our jar will be in the target. I will go here and I will show you that. Source here, right? So you will have a target and Scala and our jar. This is the jar that where we have our actual code. Now, how will you execute this? You will execute it using Spark submit. Okay, I'm not going to write it, but I will just use this particular command. Remember, you need to be in this folder because you are saying target. And what is the class inside that jar? Word count. You can have multiple classes. Enter. And it's saying it didn't recognize Spark submit. Oh, interesting. We did have Spark in the home directory, but maybe not in the path. Okay, let's do this. I thought we had that in the path. We don't. Okay, path. What do we have for path here? Spark, Hadoop. I don't know why do we have multiple Hadoops. Oh, never mind. That is one is been cancelled. One is been, one is has been. We have JDK. What happened to Spark? Did I remove it or something? Interesting. Okay. I will add it here. That's fine. New. Actually, just delete this. Browse here, and you will have Spark. Bin. Okay. Cool. Okay. Okay. But I have to close this. Go there. And let's run it one more. Okay, I need to go into Spark Scala. Okay, now let's run it. If our setup is good, it should display the count, but our setup is not good. Why? Maybe it didn't find the file. Yes. So it's looking for in this folder, but first of all, I don't think we even have this file, but let's go ahead and bring it. We know that it will be in Spark folder, so let's copy that from here into here. This is not a problem. This is very easy. So let's go ahead, run it again. And what is it doing? Error, exception while deleting Spark. Yeah, this will be Windows problem. That's why I mentioned multiple times that I don't like to do this in Windows. That's okay. Our program has run successfully while cleaning up the temp directory. It had issues, and that is a known issues with Windows. I don't care. As you can see, this looks similar to whatever the result we had in Ubuntu. So it should give the same result because it's the same file. That being said, I would say it's a success. We successfully packaged our Scala script using SBT, and then we executed it with Spark submit. So that's it about this one. Got it? And the next one is going to be Intellij. So right now, what did we do? We used SB2 to package it as a jar and then we executed it. But next thing we are going to use Intellij. Intellij is an IDE, which is a famous IDE. The Intellij is owned by JetBrains, and JetBrains has IDEs for different softwares. For example, for Python, they have PyCharm, which I use extensively at work and even at home here. And for Java and Scala, you have seen Intellij. And then for SQL, they have DataGrip, which I use at work extensively. I love all three of them. That being said, let's go and I will show you how to install Intellij because I already have Intellij. I will just show you guys how to download and do it. So click on this link, you will come here and just download the .exe. And once you download it, execute it, it will install it. I mean, this is ultimate. Sorry, never mind. You don't want ultimate. What are we looking for is this one, community edition. I don't know if I can copy this link. Let's see. Yeah. So community edition, you should be downloading the community edition, not the ultimate edition. Once you download this, click on it, it will install it for you. That's it. Once you install it, let's go ahead and open it. Looks like I haven't opened it so far, so that is good. So you will see something like this. And one thing that you are going to do immediately is go to plugins and type Scala. Install it. Okay, it's installed. Go to here, click new project, and I will name this Spark Scala example. And here we are going to select Scala, and we are going to use the same SBT like whatever we did previously. If you want, you can select 2.12, but I will leave it. It doesn't matter because once you select in the build file, right? In the build file, you will get to choose what Scala version you want to use, like this. So this is default build file that they have given for us, but I'm not going to use that. You already know that the build file I'm going to use is similar to our previous one. Not similar, actually, I'm going to use the exact same one. Once you change this, it should ask you to sync SBT changes. So click on that. It will index here. And remember the directory structure, similar to whatever we had. So let's go ahead and let's copy this and let's go and paste it in here. Okay, so we have the file. This should throw an error here red because we haven't told it to add the jars for Spark here, so I don't know where to look for. Let it do the indexing and whatnot. I guess it will start complaining about that. See here, even though we selected this based on the build file, it brought the Scala 2.12 for us. Okay, so if you see there are no Spark jar. Do we? Oh, it already brought the Spark jar. This is interesting. My in Ubuntu it didn't do that. I had to add a couple of things to the configuration file, if you remember. Let's see. I don't know. When we execute it, it might behave the same way. So let's run this. First of all, it will fail because it won't find this file in the projects folder. If that is the failure, I'm fine with it. I will go place it. Yeah, this is the error we have seen because see this. Instead of Spark submit, if it executes using Spark submit, then it does. We don't need to point it to the Spark jar files. But since it uses Java to execute it, in here it is not telling it where Spark jar files are. It is only telling where my word count jar, Scala libraries, etc. So we have to tell it to go and see where my Spark jars are. How am I going to do that? Click on this. Sorry, click on this. Edit configuration. I think I selected application. Is this how I did it? No. Close this. Click on this. No, how did I do it? There was word count configuration as well. That's fine. What is it called? Word count, right? Okay, it's not showing me that. I want it to show this configuration. Is it this? Yeah, okay. So let's select this one. Go here, add VM options, and in the VM options, I'm going to copy paste whatever is in here. So we are going to tell it, here are my jar. I mean, it's not here literally. I don't know how to give the Windows one. Let's try that. Windows directory, how will it, can I browse? Yeah, it is here, right here, right? So slash. So let me copy this till here. And I will paste it here. And this is not how it is. I guess it is like this, if I'm not wrong. And for Scala, I think I can get that path from right. Oh, I cleared it. Never mind. For Scala, where is it? Where is it showing? Okay, it's in the same folder, right? Hmm. That's fine. It will anyways throw error. So I will add it later on. Okay, let's do this again. VM dash cp, paste that, apply, run. Okay, it failed because it is now I didn't point the Scala, right? That's why it is failing. So what I'm going to do is copy this. I wish I knew this path. Okay, where is it? Users, Sitapragna, idea projects. Okay, I guess I can get that from here, can't I? Edit. Yeah, it's this one, right? Okay, let's go ahead and update it here. Slash, backslash, and backslash. So now we are also including the Scala classes as well, which is what needed. I don't think we need this for Windows. Let's hope that is the case. Let's see. It will throw an error if it needs that. So let's come here. Let's update this. Apply, run. Did it fail with the same error? Did. Okay, let's say I think this is wrong. Okay, it's not idea projects, Spark, Scala examples. Then we have target, Scala 2, and classes. Yeah, we have it. Then what is it complaining about? Word count. Hmm. Something is not right here. Idea projects. Let me go there. Idea projects. This, that, that, that. Isn't it the same? Okay, maybe this is messing it up. Should we put comma? You think this is messing it up? Oh, I don't see it. They even put it here. I guess that is fine. But since we have two, not sure if we have to put a double quotes here and then double quotes. So let's look at it. Okay, so let's try a different setting. Mm, so here we already have the main. Modify modify class path. It's here. Include target that select folder. Also, let's go here. Spark jars select folder. And in here, let's go and add this only this one. Apply. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, it added that. In the class path, it added it. Oh, it didn't add it. Why? Oh, it added it. It said jars, but it didn't slash star. That's what I was hoping for. Okay. How do I do that then? Can I not edit it? Include Spark jars. How do I select all files? Can I not do that? Maybe not. No, I don't want to include one at a time. Can I not modify that? So that's fine. Let me add it here. I think in Windows we can include that, but instead of comma, this is a semicolon. I guess that's what I saw. Apply. Okay. Run. Okay. If I add it there, it's not adding it here. If I add it here, it's not adding it there. Okay. Let's copy this entire thing. Go there, edit. This is playing with me right now. Apply. Okay. Run. Okay. Now it failed with a different error. Get subject is not supported. I think it's complaining about what? Spark jar Hadoop. Okay. Restricted methods will be blocked in a future release unless native access is enabled. Get subject is not supported. Okay. First and foremost, I am not sure why we are using this. We are supposed to use this one for our Spark, not 24. It is using JDK 24. I switched it to 1.8. Let's see. Now it's failing so many things. This is fine. This looks like it is looking for in here. So let's go ahead and place it. I think it's just the version problem we had. So we are good. And Spark, copy this. Go ahead. ID, project, Scala, paste it. I think this should be fine now. That's okay, it doesn't matter. That is not going to stop us. As you can see, we have got the result successfully. So remember, same file, we ran the same program from the Spark submit, but we manually built or packaged it into a jar and then executed. Here, IDE is doing that for us. It's packaging into a jar file behind the scenes into a temp directory, and then it is executing the jar file for us. And the difference is IDE you use it for development, not in production. Whereas Spark Submit you will use it in production. You will build them and put them, and then you will execute using Spark Submit or something else. So that's about this. We successfully installed Intellij and then integrated the Scala plugin, and we successfully executed a Scala program. Let's set up the last service for this video, which is Zeppelin. I have tried installing Zeppelin using this method. There are two methods basically. You click on this URL to go to the downloads. You can download the binary and do a normal way that we did other services, but that was not working out because too many things are involved in here. So instead I want to go the Docker route. If you remember, even with Jupyter I had the same issue, so I went with Docker with the Jupyter. So let's go ahead and do it that way. We already have Docker desktop, which we downloaded, and we set up an account. We remember we had Cassandra on Docker, we had Jupyter on Docker. Similarly, we are going to have Zeppelin using Docker. So the first steps to do that is, of course, have the Docker desktop, sign up. If you don't know how to do it, watch our video in this chapter 2, where we installed Docker and we set up, signed up for an account, downloaded, and did all that awesome stuff. So the first step for this is to go ahead and creating some directories. Okay, so we are going to create in Docker Zeppelin notebooks to store the notebooks. Similarly, we are going to store Zeppelin logs in this particular directory. So create these two directories. Then we are going to pull, just like any other Docker service that we set up. First thing is we pull the image from the Zeppelin. Right now you don't see it here, but once we pull it, it will come into our hub. It's a big one, so give it some time. And once you pull it into your I guess repository, whatever you call it, hub, then we can run it. And while running, of course, we are going to give couple of parameters, telling it where my Spark is, where I want to store my notebooks, where I want to store the logs, and all that awesome stuff. Okay, let it download. All right, we are done here. So if I go to my Docker desktop, I should see it here. You can see it. Okay, so now you can run it from here, but I'm not going to do that because I need to give it some properties. Not property, yeah, you can say parameters. I would say parameters. All right, where is it? Let's copy that and let's click paste anyway. Okay, it didn't run it however I want it, so let's do this. Here we go. So let's go ahead and run this. I should have put the caret instead of that symbol. I think that's it. Enter. So what did we do with this command? We told it similar to Jupyter. Jupyter we gave 8888, 8889. Our port is going to be 8080. And this is not our Spark home. You know what? Let me cancel this one. Actually, it already started it, but it's okay. I will stop it. Our Spark home is this. Not sure. Oh, okay. Never mind. It is correct. We are mapping that to this one, so that is fine. You know what? Let me run this again. If it can. No, it cannot. Okay, that's fine. So let's copy this again. Click it. Go run it. Oops, we went into PowerShell mode. Let's go to command line again. Paste it, run it. So it is already used by the container. You have to remove that container to be okay. It is already there. So let me just go here, local host 8080. That was supposed to run, but it is not running. Okay, let's try a couple of things. Okay, classic is also not working out. I think the issue is because we have closed that session, but it is still open. So let's restart the same thing again. So it will be available in our port. Let's see. Okay, that's all we need to do. So as you can see, we successfully connected to Zeppelin, but that's not the end of it. Of course, I need to create a notebook. Let's click on this one. Let's see. Let's click on this. Let's see if there is anything already here. Okay, looks like there is this. Let's run this one. And it failed because it's trying to use Java 11. Not sure what that is about. It's okay, it's complaining about command not found. All right, so looks like the issue is with the Windows Spark. So basically, since we are using the Zeppelin container and we are asking it to run a Windows uh, Spark submit, right? So it's causing this error. So what we are supposed to do is, instead of the command file, we need to give it proper Linux Spark submit shell script. But we cannot do that using the way we installed our Spark. So there are two suggestions. One is to use a Linux compatible Spark inside the Docker. And the other option is to use our Linux Spark tarball instead of our Windows Spark. And then there is a third option, which is to use Docker images with the Spark pre-bundled. So let's go ahead and do the using a Linux Spark tarball instead of our Windows Spark. Then we will come and do the Zeppelin here. So how are we going to do that? Well, okay, so let's try this. Let's go here. Let's try to execute our Zeppelin container using bash. Now you can run Linux commands here. Yes, so I have cded to temp because temp should be writable by everyone. So I cded to temp and then I am downloading Spark. So right now it is downloading. It downloaded to the temp. Let's go and unzip it. Okay, and then we are going to create a link to this particular directory. So we are saying to this folder, just name Spark and then create a Spark home and let's point it to the temp Spark. Okay. Now let's go to our Zeppelin here. What you want to do is go to the configuration, not configuration, go to the interpreter and scroll down to the Spark interpreter and click on edit. So we are going to change the Spark home, right? Because we want it to be in temp/spark instead of opt/spark. And the Spark master local, this is fine. And let's click on save. Okay. And same thing, let's do it here. Save it. All right. We can do this, or we can go into the Zeppelin file, but I don't know if you will have permissions for that. So I think this should be good enough. Now let's run that command, and before running you need to tell it what you are trying to do. So I'm going to use the Spice Park, and then let me copy paste this particular data frame. Let's execute this. It's finished, and if you want to see the results of this, run that. And if everything is good, then it should show, but since it's on the second line, we need to again tell it. Okay, you can see the results. These are the results that we created. You can even run this in the same command at the bottom, but that's fine. So which means our Spark and Zeppelin is working fine, but we had issues, couple of issues, but I don't care, because I don't think I will be using Zeppelin. But if you are planning to use it, uh, you can follow this to have the Docker container for Zeppelin, and then download and install Spark inside that particular image. So that's one way to do it. I will end this session here. And in this video we have installed um, Intellij. I think we started with R, and then we installed Scala with SBT. Then we compiled a Scala program with SBT, and then we ran it and using Spark Submit. And then we set up IntelliJ and configured it with Scala plugin, and then we ran the same Scala program using IntelliJ, and we repeated the installations on no, actually we also installed Zeppelin on Ubuntu. Then we install all those tools on Windows as well. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And this is the last video for, not last video, but yeah, last video for the installations. We are not going to install anything else. In the next video we are going to see Docker Compose. We have seen Docker, but Docker Compose is a little bit different. We will see that with a couple of examples. I hope you will like it. See you in the next video. Peace out. Love you all.